Thank you very much for joining, and we'll go ahead and get started. So here this is kind of what we think about the way it is here in sales, in the world of sales, in the world of business-to-business sales. We know that every company in the world has to rely on both sales and marketing to grow revenue. It's increasing so much that the CRM market, the market that we work in, the market that you most likely work in because you're working in Salesforce and working with Salesforce, is going to surpass 30 billion by the end of the year. The issue is, as probably you may know, that 60% of executives believe the CRM implementation is classified as an operational failure. The problem is the managing of the data. And when it comes to managing data, sales process is now driven by what we're calling insights. Everyone's calling insights from data collection. It's whether it's cold calls or emails or meetings or presentations or quotes, all of these are known as activities. And we enter all of these activities in the CRM. That's kind of why ZynBit was developed, to give you the capability to do that from your email as opposed to having to alt-tab into Salesforce. And many sales leaders manage their team and their sales process according to this data. So a lot of what's going on in sales management now has really become activities management. And if you concentrate on the calls and if you get the meetings, supposedly sales is supposed to increase, revenue is supposed to increase. But there's a real world out there, and the brutal truth of the matter is that recently it's been reported that less than 1 in 5, less than 2 in 5 sales managers actually achieve their forecast, let alone their sales quota. And when you couple that with the fact that 20% of the salespeople in the B2B space are doing 80% of the sales, that really begs the question, is the CRM data that I have in there actually helping me sell as a salesperson? And I'll be very, very honest with you here. This particular number hasn't changed in about 20 years. And the proof source for this is Mike Bosworth, the father of solution selling, has come out recently and said that this number is the same it was 20 years ago when he started solution selling. So really 20% of the salespeople are doing 80% of the sales. And 1 in 5 sales managers are only achieving their forecast. So what's the reason for this? What's the reason for this? Well, it all, I believe, has to do with prospecting and the ability to bring people in to your organizations, to look at your products, to look at your services, to look at your widgets. Email is the primary method of how that is being done today, whether it be email prospecting, marketing blasts, lead generation, however that's being done. Whether it be through your marketing team sending thousands of emails to people to try to get them interested in becoming a lead and then maturing the lead, or if your actual salespeople are going on LinkedIn and they're looking up prospects and they're emailing them out. The sad fact is that the number of emails that business-to-business people are working on daily have increased dramatically over the last few years. In 2017, it's expected that 121 emails a day will be sent and received by individuals. On average, next year 140. And there's the breakdown that the majority of them, as you can see, almost 2/3, are received rather than sent. And email, unfortunately, is part of the answer because we all know about the phone. And we all know how we interact with the phone and work with the phone. We can speak all day about the value of phone prospecting, whether it's valuable, but the sheer numbers tell us that 80% of people that receive a phone call from a number they don't know and a toll-free number or an out-of-state number simply don't pick up the phone. Really, they just don't pick it up. So the majority of customer contacts are being initiated and matured and moved through via email. And so we have a big elephant in the room when it comes to emails that are being sent. And it's the unread email. The typical corporate user, again, sends and receives about 121 emails per day. They institute spam filters and other security, and even with all of that, about 19% of these messages actually get through. But they're still defined as spam because they may be referred to their cold emails that get through, their gray mail, unwanted newsletters and notifications. And the sheer fact is that we don't even know if these emails are being read, let alone whether they're being deleted, whether they're being caught by spam filters. So if you ask the sales industry, if you ask the sales training industry and the marketing training industry, the answer is, well, we need to send better prospecting emails. We need to create value in emails. We need to go ahead and create subject lines that grab attention. We have to do all of these things. Well, I did a Bing search. There's about 43 million ways to do that. And everybody has an answer on how to do that. And unfortunately, if any of these answers were the ones that were that kind of golden chalice, that were that silver bullet that could solve this problem, they would have already. We know, as being in business-to-business sales, we know that we need to get our prospecting emails read. The big issue is we don't know what we don't know. What we don't know is how do we know that they are being read. There's no data that's coming back to us, because if a person doesn't respond to your email, simply put, you don't know whether they've read, you don't know whether they're interested, you don't know whether they're even thinking about you moving forward. You really think that maybe this person who hasn't responded to you has deleted or not read your email. And there's where we feel there's a big mistake, there's a big disconnect. So we're going to tell you a tale of 4 emails. These 4 emails are specific to ZynBit. They're emails that I've sent. They may even be emails that you have received as clients and customers of ZynBit. They're prospecting emails to people who downloaded the ZynBit free application from our website. So they found us, they downloaded the email, or excuse me, they downloaded ZynBit, and I went ahead and sent them these prospecting emails. The exact same email content is in each of the particular emails. I've sent the emails at the exact same time and day. And what we'd like to find out is which one of these emails is really a prospect. Which prospect who's received these emails is really a prospect worthy of moving forward with. So let's take a look at email 1. Email 1, and those of you that are familiar with ZynBit can see that I'm in my ZynBit Outlook. I'm using the Outlook app, but this workflow works exactly the same as it would for Gmail. And at the end of the month, we'll be releasing our Outlook for Mac. So you'll have that ability there as well. But so here I have a prospecting email that I sent. So I'm in my sent items folder, and I'm taking a look at an email I sent to John. And the text of the email, however I created the email, that's all 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Your mileage may vary. However you've determined the email is going to be valuable or offering value, that's how you determine. I'm not interested in how you built the email. I'm interested in how you figure out whether or not your email is being read. So here's an email to John, and if I go over here to the right-hand side to the ZynBit Outlook for Outlook pane, I can see just by looking that John has not read my email. That first little purple button when it's depressed should show me if John has either read my email or if he's clicked links within my email. So John, for whatever reason, has not read this particular email. And if I click this little icon here, I can actually see if John has visited any of my websites, any of my pages on my website, and I can see no. It's just showing me up here because I'm on this email. So it's showing here that John has not looked at my website. So John got an email from me. It's obvious he didn't read it, and he hasn't visited my website. So that's email number 1. Let's take a look at email number 2. So here, email number 2, it's the exact same email that I've sent. I sent it to Claudia. But what ZynBit is telling me is Claudia actually opened up this email on January 9th at 4:32 p.m. And I can see that she's viewed it once. So now I have some actionable intelligence. I know that Claudia has actually read my email. She hasn't responded, but I know that she's read it. So let's take a look and see if she's visited any of my websites. And I can see no, she hasn't. So she did read the email. She didn't click any of the links that I have within the email. And she hasn't visited any of my websites. But still, that's more information than I would have had just by simply sending the cold email. So perhaps Claudia is interested. So I'm going to put this email over in the maybe section. Let's take a look at email 3. If you take a look at email 3, I can see that Nieli has actually, again, read my email. She opened the email at 8:18 in the morning on January 9th. Let me take a look here. Look at this. Also, she has visited my website. And look, the dates. She visited my website prior to me sending that prospecting email, and then she visited my website again after checking out my email, reading my email. And she's visited this multiple times. And look, the page that she's visited multiple times is increase sales and drive Salesforce adoption with ZynBit. Now, she hasn't responded to my email, but now I know that she's read it, I know where she's been on my website, and more importantly, I know for a fact that Nieli has went ahead and looked at, and she's interested in increasing sales and drive Salesforce adoption. So let's put this email number 3, in the yes, we should go ahead and reach back out to this particular person. Let's take a look at email 4. Again, the exact same email, the exact same text, the exact same time it was sent, and now look, Sukumar has opened my email on January 9th at 10:30 a.m., but he also clicked this link. And if we go to click this link, what that link was, it was choose Introduction to ZynBit. That was to set up a demo. Many of you may have done that with me with this email. So he actually clicked that link to set up a demo. So I know he's read it. I know he's interested enough to look at scheduling a demo. Let's take a look where he's visited on my website. He has visited my website again multiple times, and he's interested in sales and driving Salesforce adoption. He's interested in me because he's looked at my profile page. But most importantly, look at this. He's actually looked at my pricing page. So I know I know for a fact that Sukumar has read the prospecting email. He's went ahead and looked at the link that I sent him. He clicked the link, and then he's visited my website multiple times. And most importantly, again, he clicked on pricing, and he's looked at my pricing that I have on my website. So let's take a look at this data analysis to figure out exactly what the salesperson does from that point forward. Email number 1 was not read. There were no link clicks, and there were no web visits. Email number 2, it was read, but there were no link clicks and no web visits. Email number 3 was read. There were no link clicks in the email, but yes, there were 3 web visits. And 4, the email was read, the link that was in the email was clicked, there were 3 web visits, and 1 of the web visits was pricing. So that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and submit this poll. I'm going to go ahead and launch this poll, and then if you can go ahead and vote which email should they respond to immediately. What email should your salesperson respond to immediately? Should they respond to the first one, the second one, the third one, or the fourth one? So we've got a couple people, about 75% of you have voted. If you haven't voted, please do. Okay, great. We have 100% voted. So I'm going to close this poll, and we're going to share the poll results to everyone. and you're going to see that 25% of you said email 2 you should take a look at, 75% of you said email 4. The right answer here is actually whatever email you felt was the best opportunity for you to go ahead and move a deal forward. Because the shocking information here, not just for this particular poll, but for this particular question that I asked you, the shocker was, you have to remember, not a single one of those recipients actually responded to the prospecting email. You made that decision based upon just the feedback ZynBit was providing you on what that person did with your email. No one replied. Nobody set a meeting. Even Sukumar, he didn't set a demo. He just clicked the link. He didn't set the demo. So all your analysis was based on was what they did or didn't do with that particular email. Now, you created and you used our actionable intelligence to make a decision on who to contact and who to work with after getting that information back. Imagine what could possibly be done with this type of intel with prospects that actually set demos with you or respond to your prospecting emails. And when you take a look at from in an aggregate perspective, and what I mean by that in a total perspective, ZynBit provides you the capability to do what we just showed on a regular one-on-one email basis. These are the emails I'm sending, this is the intel, and this is the information I'm sending. But imagine the data that you could bring if you could look at every single email you sent to every single prospect or every contact that you have in Salesforce. This is part of the more advanced paid offering for ZynBit called ZynIQ, where we not only collect the tracking data, we give you analytics based on that data. So this particular report is called our overview. It's showing, these are my real numbers. This is showing me the number of sends versus the number of opens. For my prospecting emails, I have a 42% open ratio for sending my particular emails. And you can see here, I can also see the number of opens versus sends versus clicks with these particular Salesforce contacts. Because if you look in the upper right or upper left-hand side on your screen, you can see that I'm not just looking for anybody that I've sent an email to. I'm looking for people that are Salesforce contacts and actually Salesforce contacts within open opportunities. Because that's really, as a salesperson, that's the only people that I'm really interested in. Let's take a look at an email IQ report. When we're taking a look at all the emails we've sent to Salesforce contacts and Salesforce contacts with opportunities, I can now see on a per email basis which emails were the ones that were read and which ones provided the most value. Now I look like I'm doing pretty well here. So what if you could take all of this data and then look at your entire team? And then you can see exactly who's sending the best emails, who's getting the most feedback, who's getting the most interactions from prospects, and then figure out a prescriptive way to go ahead and help the rest of the team go ahead and do that. And how about those contacts? When I take a look at my Salesforce contacts, and I'm looking this report right here, I'm just interested in Salesforce contacts with opportunities. I'm interested in their activity with me. What websites are visiting? What emails are they opening? With that information, so I can make a larger judgment on how I individually do my prospecting. Again, this type of data has been utilized in the marketing perspective, where you're dealing with tens of thousands of cold emails that you're sending out, and maybe you're getting a 2 or 3% respond rate on those particular emails. What we're talking about here is the actual tactical sales side, where I have active contacts in Salesforce, some of which have open opportunities, and I can see what emails they're looking at, what links they're clicking, where on my website they're visiting, and I can craft a message to them to move my deals and to move my opportunities forward. And then let's take a look at that website. Here is our website analytics just for Salesforce contacts that we have with open opportunities. So if you're an opportunity of ours in Salesforce and we have a process going with you right now, you're on this report. And you can actually see the number of web visits that I have from those particular opportunities and those contacts within those opportunities. So if I want to take a look and I can see Allied Building, looks like someone from Boundless Geo is interested in email tracking. Now that's an opportunity that I'm trying to close by the end of the month. It's the 23rd that they click that web page. I didn't know. They didn't respond to me. They didn't email me. They're looking themselves. They're doing their own research. Maybe it would behoove me to reach out to this individual who's a contact of mine in Salesforce and assist them in answering any question they have with email tracking. Because the sad fact of it is, your prospects and your customers and your salespeople's prospects and customers don't always reach out to them. They're trying to do a lot of this on their own. Much of it they're doing on your website, much of it they're doing within your emails that you're sending them. Isn't it just good common sense to be able to access that information and not wait for them to contact you directly, but to analyze how they're using the resources you have provided them and then prescribe ways to go ahead and move your opportunities with them forward? So at the end of the day, what I hope I've been able to go ahead and show you in this short little presentation and this short little webinar is a real-world example of how utilizing the paid version of ZynBit can assist you in business. If you take a look at what I've done from the aspect of sales and sales prospecting, it's the same process that can be done with your service, with your customer success, with your account managers. Any number of people that are actually utilizing Salesforce to interact with your prospect or customers would have this level of analysis, analytics, and data collection on their emails and the website. So what are next steps, really? If this is your first time and you have never looked at ZynBit before, go ahead and get the trial. Download our trial at ZynBit.com. If you have utilized ZynBit in the past and you're a free user, feel free to go ahead and contact me directly, and we can reset your trial so you can take a look at the full version again and analyze some of this some of these features that you've taken a look at here. I would urge you to go to the Salesforce App Exchange and read our reviews, not just the star ratings, but read our reviews from actual customers. And also, I would direct you to read some of the negative ones, because the negative reviews and the way we react to those negative reviews and the way we go ahead and interact with those particular customers are sometimes more important than how we treat the ones that everything's working well. Because in the real world, sometimes things don't work. So we want to assure you that we're out there willing to go ahead and provide you the best customer experience and maximize the customer success with our app. So feel free to go ahead and look at those reviews. And then you can also contact me directly at derek.wyszynski@zynbit.com. You can also go to our website and you can request a demo, you can request a trial. There's multiple ways to contact. But again, anyone can show you how something works here in a webinar or in a demonstration. What I urge you to do is take a look at the full version, revisit again if you saw it before a couple months ago, and try to find, and try to find ways and take a look at ways that it can actually aid you in the process. At the end of the day, you've probably investigated and looked at ZynBit to increase adoption of Salesforce. And I didn't go into any of the bells and whistles of how we do that. We obviously, you know that works. This right here, the ability to create ways where salespeople, where customer success people, where service people will actually be able to utilize ZynBit as an additional feature set to aid them in moving cases forward, moving opportunities forward, moving their work forward with clients and prospects. What we found, it will go ahead and augment and it will increase adoption. Because people like to use things that are easy, and we believe ZynBit is incredibly easy to update Salesforce, but more importantly, people like to use things that provide them value. And in this sense, the email tracking, the web tracking, and that type of information provides real value to Salesforce users. So we're coming up on the half hour. So I'll stop here, and if there are any questions, feel free to initiate them via chat, and I'll go ahead and answer anything that you'd like to have answered now. And then at the end of the hour, maybe in 2 or 3 minutes, I'll go ahead and shut down the webinar if there are no questions. So thanks so much, and open for questions. Okay, we have one question here. Yes, the features that you've been able to view here, the email tracking, the web tracking, the link tracking, those are part and parcel of the ZynBit, the subscription ZynBit solution. And if you're interested in retrialing that, if you're a free user, just contact me directly or go to zynbit.com and we can go ahead and reset that trial for you. The product you saw at the end of the presentation, which was ZynIQ, that is an additional part of our suite, and we do offer that. Not every ZynBit user has to be a ZynIQ user, but every ZynIQ member needs to use core ZynBit. So, and there's pricing available for that as well if you're interested. You can feel free to contact me after this. But everything you've seen here is part and parcel of the paid ZynBit subscription. Thanks for the question. Okay, thank you so much. It's coming up on 11:32, and I'm going to go ahead and stop the webinar. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out directly with me, but thank you for spending 30 minutes with me and taking a look at some real-world examples of how ZynBit can hopefully help you in your sales and marketing process. Thanks again, take care, and have a wonderful rest of your day.